What happened? Too many mistakes in the last few days? Chris Dixon in San Diego.
Oh, sure, we all make mistakes, but really this week, this campaign for us has gone very, very well. Even today's race, we did everything out there today that we felt we should have done, and we did. If we went out there, we'd race exactly the same way again. I think it's really come down at this stage to 4 top teams, a very, very high level of competition with very little between the boats, and the teams that have got the best package, the best combination of everything that goes into it is coming up with the points, and that's the Kiwi team and the Italian team. So really, I think the difference back to France and back to Nippon is not as great as the point score suggests. We've been right in there all this week. We've had a couple of bad breaks that have cost us a few races, but really the other races, as today, we've been right in there. We just haven't been getting the points. It's been tight, and at this level of racing, the top teams are coming through.
Was it ever painful for you to find that you had to beat your own country? Was it painful to race against your own country?
The pain for me, Paul, was 2 or 3 years ago when I approached the New Zealand team and said I would like to sail for New Zealand. Can you offer me any position? Because if you can't, I must look elsewhere. That was the time it was painful for me when New Zealand and Michael Fay said, well, no, we're not offering you any position.
Why didn't Fay want you? You've never spoken about this. Why didn't he want you?
Michael Fay has his way of playing things, and I don't agree with the way that I see the New Zealand Challenge being put together with competition inside the team. And to my mind of thinking, any team works best when the competition is outside, and inside you all work together. That's not the way it was set up to be. And you know, if Chris Dixon had been part of that New Zealand team, there was no position offered. Let's get that one straight. But if there had been a position offered, it would have been Dave Barnes and Rod Davis and Russell Coots and Chris Dixon playing off against each other, and that's not a fun thing to do in life.
The suggestion was made from the New Zealand camp in San Diego just a few weeks back by Peter Blake that you'd somehow betrayed your own country. What's your reply to that?
I made no reply to that, Paul. I don't intend to make one now. The comments made were inappropriate, they were false, they were inaccurate, and those comments have no place in a sporting competition. As a Kiwi, and a very proud Kiwi, I found those comments insulting, and I think the matter was put to rest a few weeks back, and it was certainly disappointing and very inappropriate.
How are you, such a competitive person, a person who loves to be busy, I mean a person devoted to this campaign for 2 years, how are you going to cope with the inevitable deflation you're now going to feel?
The hard part for anyone at the end of one of these campaigns is the family disappears. The family of 65 people who you wake up to every morning and see in the gymnasium at 6:30, and breakfast half an hour later, and then rigging the boat and on the water all day. In the evening having dinner together, and even holidays, weekends playing golf together. That family breaks up, and that's the hard part, that everything that's sacred to your lifestyle, the format that you get into, the faces you look forward to seeing every day, suddenly all of that disappears. And that's a hard one for anyone in the team, and it'll be a tough adjustment to make, but it had to come sooner or later, and unfortunately for us, it's come a little bit sooner.
Well, what are you going to do now? Isn't it time you got back on the farm, Chris Dixon? Isn't it time you came home?
It probably is, Paul, and I look forward to coming back to Auckland, to New Zealand in a few weeks' time. And there's a lot of things that I need to catch up with. The first thing I've got to do is write a few hundred letters to all of those great people that have been writing to us, supporting us all the way through this. So I've got a lot of thank you letters to write first, and once I get a few loose ends tidied up in San Diego, I look forward to coming back to New Zealand. Chris,
then, looking ahead to the final then, the America's Cup, who's going to win it?
It's a tough one, Paul, but my money is on the challengers. The challenger, it looks like it's going to be fought out in the final between New Zealand and Italy. It's very close racing, as we've already seen, between New Zealand and Italy. There's not much between any of the teams, but I think the New Zealand boat is a good boat. It's not a breakthrough boat, but it is a very good boat. They've got a top skipper, a top team, top crew. I think my money's on the New Zealand boat. Certainly my sentiment is with New Zealand. I hope that the New Zealand team can go on to win this, and if they can beat Italy in the final, I think they'll go on to win the America's Cup, and my best wishes are with them.
Well, our best wishes in New Zealand are with you on this very traumatic day, and we all of us, I'm sure, look forward to seeing you back in New Zealand, and once again, you've acquitted yourself only with honour. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you, Paul. It's been great talking with you. Thanks for your support. Thank you.
Chris Dixon from San Diego. Now, a fax in today from Jeff Walden of Hamilton. He says, he talks about the famous fund, of which many in New Zealand are thinking at this present time, I'm sure. He says of the fund, shouldn't the fund be called the Infidelity Fund? He says, isn't it about time gullible Kiwis stop trusting so-called professional bodies to handle their money? He says, why can't lawyers and accountants get public liability insurance for theft? All boards of trustees are required to have this type of protection insurance. So that's in from Jeff Walden in Hamilton. Next on Holmes tonight, the Benson and Hedges Fashion Awards. Oh, yes. Curious clothing, the winning designs. Indeed, the Dominion had the best line today. Erin Kennedy on the front page of the Dominion wrote, crowd-pleasing outfits or anything anyone vaguely normal might be seen dead in got knocked out first. Well, were they weird, or will they soon be all the rage, these clothes? We're out on the streets, in the boutiques, in a couple of minutes.
Thursday on Foreign Correspondent, the man who claims he discovered AIDS is called a fraud. Bob Hawke, statesman turned reporter, and another dark secret of the Soviet Empire is revealed. Foreign Correspondent, Thursday at 9:30, following Casualty on 1.
I was in Farnell looking for a pattern, and I started to find it when I tracked down a tightly run outfit called Working Style Shirts. I'd heard they'd gone to the bank with a beautifully tailored proposal for tailor-made shirts, and the bank had said yes. How did something as simple as that happen?
I know making shirts costs money, so why did someone consider you a good prospect?
Well, we had a nightmare with banks, you know, trying to find someone to back us, and eventually we sat down with the ANZ, and, you know, they were fantastic. They listened to what we wanted and made an intelligent lending decision based on, you know, what we needed.
So, in partnership with Tanya Neville, Chris Dobbs had formed a two-way relationship with his bank, and both sides won. Now they plan to tailor-make shirts for people overseas. They found the right bank, the bank said yes, and everything fell into place as neatly as a well-tailored shirt on the magnificent body of a mature Antipodean male. I was getting the message, and it was yes.
Lancer Liftback is the shape to be in, because it fits the way you want to live. Equipped as you'd expect from Mitsubishi Motors. And with multi-valve cyclone engines, plus the exhilaration of fuel injection, you'll love the multi-valve feeling. Mitsubishi Lancer Liftback. It's the shape to be in.
Pack it in, you two. I don't want to tell you again.